All right, everybody, time for the final 6 presentations. Thank you all for coming back here on time. We really appreciate it. So next up, we have Klaas Hesselink, and he is going to talk about the science introduction to cannabis. I'm really excited about this talk.
All right. Remember a time 20, 30, 40 years ago, somebody handed you a joint, marijuana cigarette, and you thought, cool, or maybe you enjoyed the feeling. But I bet you didn't think of it as medicine. Well, the FDA and the DEA still don't think it's medicine. They have it as a Schedule I drug, which means it has no medicinal value whatsoever. Now, in 1964, Dr. Machunem from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem isolated a cannabinoid called THC. Since then, we have had over more than 70 other cannabinoids found in cannabis and over 400 compounds. Now, what are cannabinoids? Cannabinoids are a class of diverse chemicals that react, that activate receptors in our brain and in our body. Actually, we make our own cannabinoids. We call that the endocannabinoid system. Now, with cannabis, we basically found a huge pile of spare keys that fit in those receptors. Studies from all over the world have looked at this plant. You know, why is it that people who smoke it will stop eating or start eating? Or why is it pain relieving? Why does it protect cells? And this has to do with the ratio of how these cannabinoids show up. There's tons of them there. And this ratio, Dr. Machunem said, is an entourage effect. Now, an entourage effect works like this, like we know with kings and queens who had their posse following them. Well, these days we see it with the guys in Hollywood. They basically form a unit, yet they bring all their own characteristics to that unit. And depending on who is in that group will determine the outcome of this group. Now let's take Vince over there. He's definitely THC. You know, THC enhances all of your enhances your functions, your sight, your hearing, sexual arousal. It sharpens your mind. It relieves pain. This guy has it all. Well, there, Eric, CBD, he's much more down to earth. You will feel him in your body. He is relaxing, has a lot of the other potentials too. But these guys, we know them really well. They've been studied all over the world, and they get a lot of credit. However, they could not do this alone. This is an entourage effect. They work together. THC, THCV, CBD, and CBC are 3 other ones that if they are present with this group, they will change the dynamic of that group. CBG makes you go to sleep. CBC really potentiate THC. CBG makes you, oh, I said CBG. CBG makes you go to sleep. But together, they, together and supported by those 400 other cannabinoids, they work well together, like they're supposed to. So depending on what kind of performance you're looking for, you do want to take a look on who is in that group. Because a good example here is if you're going through chemotherapy and you need appetite stimulant, you want to make sure there's no THCV in your cannabis, for instance. Now, with modern farming practices, we can grow cannabis for all types of potentials. We can mix and match those cannabinoid profiles that we grow to create very precise targeted medicine. And it doesn't have to come rolled up anymore. We have vaporizers, we have pills, we have all kinds of things like that. We have over 10,000 studies that show that cannabis has medicinal value. It's time to move cannabis out of its Schedule I drug and allow doctors and patients to safely and freely experience the healing power of this plant. There are hundreds of FDA-approved drugs out there that are far, far more addictive and far, far more dangerous than cannabis. Just one last thought. Not everybody is enlightened and ignited about cannabis. Just like with every good idea, it takes time to get the group behind it. So remember, just like electricity was once considered evil, it's time to push this forward. Thank you.